Hey guys, Jeff here, Dice Setters. So I was in Vegas last weekend and I went to Westgate. Of course, Westgate, I have a video on how to win at the Westgate. I was excited to go to Westgate. They do have a pretty decent craps table. The only downside is during the holiday, sometimes they make it $20 minimum. Most of the time they're at 15. So we go to dinner, go to the craps table, and to my dismay, they have partitions. And I mean, when they have partitions, if I were to go like this is as much room as I have. So now instead of there being a little spot for your ass to stand on, and three of them, now they have a spot for five people on each side. And I was like, really? So there was a casino manager, and I've asked him questions before, and he never could give me an answer. So I waited for him. He was talking to an employee, so I decided just to talk to one of the crew people. And I talked to one of the crew people. Now, mind you, I don't want this to be political at all. I don't. Political is not my way, my thing. If it was, I'd have a political channel, and I don't. But I don't watch TV. I could care less about what's going on in the world. I care about my own little world, my family, and that's about it. And so I asked him, I said, what the hell? What are these for? And he was like, well, people are dying. And I was like, yeah, I fully get that. I fully get people are dying. But, was this part of the state? Was this something you guys thought up of? And he said it was part of the state. But the question I was trying to ask was, if you kept it three on each side, would the state make you have partitions? And they beat around the bush as much as you can and yell at me one more time, people are dying, and not answer my question. There was another dealer that we're really good friends with at the same place at Westgate. We asked her, she sat there and she said people don't like it, people aren't playing. And that's the way I hope they see it. I hope everyone's on agreement to this. We're not playing where there are dividers that makes it so that it's uncomfortable to play. You're squashed in. You definitely can't, roll your dice. Now, granted, there is one place that does have dividers. They're small. They don't get in the way. You can still roll. The only thing the divider did was one person decided to throw dice at me and it missed me and hit the divider. But that was the only good thing that the divider did. If you're already in a group of people this close, do you really need to have the dividers? If you're putting us side by side by side, I guess you can. We're that close, I guess you can. But I was happy with the three people on one side and three people on the other. That's where I was happy at. Plenty of room. They might get mad at you. Hey, stand on your corner. Sometimes my wife and I will play next to each other, so sometimes, we get a little close. They don't realize that that's my wife playing. And you have to look down, make sure you're on the little stupid spot. But that's how I was happy. Again, I don't want to turn this into political. I know people are dying. I know COVID's real. But I'm guarding myself. I have my mask on. I'm taking my vitamins. I'm doing everything I can. And then you're going to crowd up the table and blame it on the state. That's, to me, is what it's like. I don't know if that's true or not. But anyways, we went down to South Point. The reason why we went to South Point is because there's a viewer who was going to sit there and meet my wife and I to play at South Point. And he wanted to know if the dividers are up at South Point. And of course, I haven't been to South Point since the pandemic. And I'm like, I don't know. I couldn't answer that question. So I drove there Sunday. Of course, South Point's completely out of the way from me heading south to go home. But we went there. The buffet's open, believe it or not. It's not like the best buffet. It's not the worst buffet, but it's a buffet. Not bad, not good. It's a buffet. They have 4 tables at South Point. 3 of them were being used on Sunday morning, and 3 of them were packed. And I think that they had either 3 or 4 people on each side, no dividers, little spot to stand on your spot, be happy. And I hope that's what they realize, is that having more people bringing in more revenue is not going to benefit the craps table. What's going to benefit the craps table is no dividers, keeping the distance, and letting us have room to swing the arms back and forth and not be like in a little trough. I don't know what else to say. But the more that they do it, the more I'm not going to play there. So if you see a huge revenue on casinos that don't have the little trough, that's because everyone's visiting them. So I set you out on this right here, 2 different theories. And I'm using cards. Instead of rolling dice, I'm going to use cards. Makes it easier. I took out the kings and the aces, so everything here you see I can roll. A queen would be, of course, the 12. A jack would be the 11. The 2 would be a 2. And so I have 2 different scenarios. So this is South Point. I'm playing at South Point. Welcome to South Point, everybody. $5 minimum table is what they have. And so they do not have the all tall small. So when you run into a condition with not having the all tall small, you're going to have to put it right up to, I can roll up to 8 times without making a 7, or I can roll 7 times without making a 7. So I will roll up to 7 times and take down my bet and leave it as that. It's not like rolling 3 times or 4 times. This one here, you're putting it out to the max. So if you're going to sit there and 7 out at 8 times, you're going to roll to 7. If you always 7 out at 7 times, go back to either 5 or 6. So this one I have the minimum on every number. I will make money as long as I don't hit any of the horn numbers. If I hit the horn numbers, I'm going to lose money. On this side down here, we're going to use the same numbers I'm going to draw from my deck. But this is the iron cross. I'm going to have 5 on 5, 6 on 6, 6 on 8, and 5 of the field. This will catch everything, including the 2 and the 3, 11 and the 12. Whereas that one over there does not. So I'm going to see, which one would make it easier. Which one makes it easier for you to win money? This is not a case that you're going to sit there and leave it until you 7 out. That's not it. That's not winning in my book. When you got to leave this up till you 7 out, this is $32 up here. You just lost $32. There's $22 there. You just lost $22. Losing money's not it. So we're going to pull it before we lose the money. Now you sit there and say, well, you rolled another 20 more times. It doesn't matter. You can't look from that point. You got to look to the point that I pulled my money, I made money. That's where you have to look at it. Everyone's biggest thing about craps is you got to wait for a long roll. No, long rolls don't happen. So I'm going to show you. Let's say I'm comfortable at rolling 7 times without getting a 7. So I'm going to draw myself 7 rolls. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have no idea what these are. No idea. But we're going to see which way pays out more. So our first number is 5. So that one there would pay me out 7. This one over here, I don't have 5 in the field, so I lose 5. But I do have 5 marked up there. That will sit there and pay me 7. I'll replenish my 5 on the field, and that's what I get paid. My next number is a 3. Well, this guy here does not have 3. That's actually my extra. This is my money. There's no money here on the field, so he doesn't make anything. This guy here, he's got 3 for the field. So you make money for money. My next number I roll is an 11. This poor guy here doesn't get anything because we didn't capture 11, don't have it on the field, and we're not playing 11 here. This guy here is playing the field, 11. That matches money for money. So that's going to make me a 5. My next number I roll is a 6. This one here, your 6 is going to make 7. 5, 6, 7. This one here, that 6 is going to make you 7. 5, 6, 7. The sad thing is that you're going to lose that in the field. So you got to replace it. And you only made $2. My next number up is 6 again. 6 going to win you. Let me hear you. Oh, 7. Yay! Very good class. Same thing with this one. This one's going to be 7. But I lost 1. And that one needs to be put back up. 8. I have an 8 there. That's 6. That's supposed to be 6. Goofed. There we go. That makes more sense. That 6 will win you 7. And 8 for here. I got it here, not here. So I lose it here. But then I'll sit there and turn around and win it again. And then I got to reset my 5 up there. Last card to go is 11. This guy's not playing the field. Of course, there's no 11. He doesn't get anything. This guy's playing the field, so he does. Money for money. Let's see who sat there and got the most. This guy here, who's playing with $32 exposed. 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 25, 26, 27. This one here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 23. This guy here only had $22 at risk at any time, minus the $5 here. And this guy here had $32 at risk, minus the $5 here on the pass line. And you see they did the same. So if you're going to sit there and bet, do it this way. The reason why is because you're going to get everything and you have less out there to risk. I do know that if you play like I do, you'll have $1 or perhaps $2 on the C. You have nothing for the bonus because they don't have a bonus. $5 on the pass, and that's what you end up with. Take it down after you rolled your 7 numbers. You'll end up with the same. The only difference is if you have a mistake and you hit a 7, this person here, $32 on the line, this one here, $22 on the line. So $10 less, and you made $4 less. Iron Cross always works. The nice thing about the Iron Cross is if you are random throwing, if you're not random throwing, that means you are throwing it with purpose. That means you are having a starting spot. That means you are having a certain way to throw it, and you are having a way for it to stop. If that be the case and you start to roll the 2s, the 3s, the 11s, and 12s, this for sure will catch this where that one there will not. And the other thing is that say I have the 1, 3, 2, 3, and I sit there and I roll it with just barely touching it and just tossing it out there, I'll hit 6 and 8 all day long. So if you are doing the Iron Cross and you are hitting the 6 and 8, nothing says you can't sit there and put an extra 6 on your 6 and an extra 8 on your 8. And you say, why would I do this for? Because when you hit the 6 or hit the 8, it pays you double because you have to refill the field. Because you notice the numbers that are missing in the field are 5, 6, and 8. So you're risking an extra 11, 12 bucks, 12 bucks to fill in the gap. And every time you hit the 6 and 8, you're going to get paid more. You still got to fill in the field, but you can do it that way as well. So that's 2 different strategies of how to sit there and win. And if you are going to sit there and play at a place that does not have, the all tall small, this is the way to do it. Get yourself a dice roll get a way to roll it, sit there and say, I can do 5 rolls at a time or 6 rolls at a time. And count. You sit there and say, well, how do you count how many rolls you have? It's real simple. You have a guy there whose name is a dealer, and he'll give you money for your money. You sit there and say, okay, well, this should be enough. Here, give me some change. And they'll give you as much change as you want. You can have 25 ones if you want to. So each time you roll from one of your stacks, move one here. And then you roll again, take one down, and move it here. That's how you're going to keep up. And so you can go, oh, I have 2 rolls so far. Nothing says you can't sit there and have a notebook. It does look a little awkward, but I've seen it done, so it's not like no one's ever done it before. But you can actually have a notebook and write down what numbers you're rolling. But there's other ways to sit there and keep track of which numbers you want to, how many you've gone down. Because I don't want to lose my $22 that are here or my $32 that are there. So I'm going to take it down ahead of time before I roll that 7. Because how long did it take you to make the $21? How long did it take you to make the $32? It took a lot of rolls to get $32. So you're going to take this down before you lose it. But you ever watch people, they'll leave it there. They'll leave it there until it's gone because they moved it because they 7'd out. Money's too hard to come by. And I hate it when I guess. 5 rolls, I'm pulling it down. And the 4th one comes and it's a 7 because I just lost my money. I don't want to lose my money. I'm going to sit there and pull it each and every time. I played before, I forgot where it was. It was in Vegas. And I would sit there and count and I would pull my money down. And everyone beside me, they're like, you're pulling your money down? I'm like, yeah, I'm pulling my money down. That's how I win. Because now the casino doesn't have my money. I've already taken their money, and now I have my money. And they just couldn't believe it. And the next roll was a 7. It's, when the 7's coming, but it also does something up here. If you sit there and say, I got to make it to the 8th number, and you make it to the 8th number without 7ing out, you tell them, take it down. I almost guarantee it that your 9th number is going to be a 7. And you're like, why? Because as you sit there and mentally prepare to throw this correctly, in your mind you're like, it doesn't matter if I hit a 7 because my money is gone. And you'll throw it and you'll throw it a 7. I almost guarantee that's the way it is. Because the pressure now is off of you. You're no longer, got to make sure this is right. Got to make sure that's right. Got to make sure, you will sit there and hit a 7 every time you take your money down. Because it's just relief of taking your money down and you didn't lose it to the casino. That's all I've got, guys. I won't be doing anything for Christmas, but I will be at South Point for New Year's. So if I get to South Point for New Year's and they have the stupid plastic things up, I'm sorry. It wasn't up there when I was there Sunday. So they have 2 weeks to put it up. Hopefully they won't, but you never know. Vegas is kind of strange, but I hope they don't sit there and put them up, and I hope South Point stays that way, and we can easily sit there and play. And if you want to, find me, just sit there and email me. It's dicesetters@gmail.com. I'll sit there and hook up with you. We'll sit there and throw some dice. It'd be pretty cool if we have a whole table filled with people that dice set or actually know something more than just regular people, and we can sit there and take our time at it. The dealers have no reason to sit there and hurry us up. We can sit there and ask each other questions and just sit there and take all the time we want and see just how mad we can get the dealers. No, we won't do that, but we'll definitely have fun. But anyhow, let's try to hook up South Point. I will be there New Year's Eve and New Year's until the weekend is over with, and I'm taking New Year's Eve off, so I'll be heading to Vegas on New Year's Eve. And for those of you that question me or stuff like that about where do I live, I do not live in Nevada. I do not live in Vegas. I would not mind living in Nevada, would not mind living in Vegas, but that's not my option. I actually live in Arizona, so you're like, wow, you visit there quite a lot, and I do. That's my small vacation. I own my own business. I take my small vacations. I like playing craps. I have recently enjoyed playing slots because the slots, they don't have the little partitions, and they, it's a lot more easier. It's a lot more less, whatever. But each time I sit there and go to a new casino and they have the little plastic dilly bobs, I'm not going to play. I'll sit there and play their slots, but I'm not going to play craps. I'm going to do it my own way, my own, the way I like to do it. And having those partitions and being stuck in there like this trying to play, that's just not it. That's not me. But anyhow, hook me up. Hook up with me if you want to play. If you see me in the casino, yell out, "Hey, how's it going?" I won't know who you are, but I'll definitely wave. You can't miss me. I'm one of those guys. If you see me once, you won't miss me the second time. And definitely like the video if you like the video. If you're not a member yet, a subscribe member, please hit the subscribe button. I'm trying to get up to 3,000 people, and it's not just for my glory, for your glory. It's just so that I can sit there and do this live. I take it one time, so it's not like, oh boy, now I got to do only one take. No, I only do everything in one take. It just would be so much easier to do this live to prove to you that I can sit there and roll dice, and it doesn't matter if it's me video recording it and then putting it up, or doing it live and then having it put up. Either way, I can sit there and roll. Leave a shout out, like, share, subscribe, whatever you want to do. Thanks, guys. Have a good one, and Merry Christmas.